This is exactly why I don't wear pants anymore. Keep watching, I'll explain. Hello everybody, my name is Jeanette Gennaro. I'm a personal trainer and creator of Naked Formula, where we encourage you to strip your lifestyle so you can live well in all of life's areas. Subscribe so you can stay up to date with our weekly wellness video series, where we give you new tasks to complete every week. Now, let's get started. There are about half a dozen songs I can think of with the lyrics "Express yourself." Did you just think of one? Let me know which one in the comments. The notion of self, such as self-awareness, self-esteem, and self-expression, are one of the many contributors to emotional wellness, which is what we're discussing this week. There's a great sense of satisfaction knowing that you have a clear understanding of your personal identity. The icing on the cake is being able to express that identity for all to see. In this week's exercise, we will discuss how to find your personal style. What does style have to do with emotional wellness? Everything. Not only are you acknowledging your identity, but it feels good knowing your clothing is working towards pushing this image outward. Following fashion trends imposes predefined images onto you, whereas following your personal style reflects your individuality. Some added benefits to finding your personal style is that you will simplify your wardrobe. You will buy less clothing because you're not following fashion trends. It may also inspire you to buy better quality clothing because now that you know what you're looking for, you want these items to last. Plus, you will create a memorable look, which makes it easier for people to remember you by, which is great for networking functions, by the way. To define your personal style, we will keep two guidelines in mind: your identity or your message, and aesthetics. Images of Superman come to mind when I'm talking about this. He had to wear a button-down shirt and pants along with those thick framed glasses, all to hide his true identity. On the inside though, he was the Man of Steel. Literally, his suit was right underneath all that dress clothes. I need to know how he kept his cape from getting wrinkled after being stuffed under his shirt and tucked into his pants. And here's another rabbit trail. Maybe Superman didn't want to wear that cape and bodysuit either. Maybe he felt his truest self was who he was while he was wearing jeans and a flannel shirt on the farm. My point is, answer these two questions. What are you wearing that hides your supersuit? And what are you wearing when you feel your truest self? For this week's exercise though, the question that we will be working on together is, I could do without ever wearing blank again. For me, that answer is dress pants. I have no idea why I own so many dress pants. I don't like how they look on me. I prefer skirts. The point of this question is, find what you dislike and what you don't feel comfortable in and get it out of your closet. Why is it in there in the first place? Are you conforming to an image that you think you need to fit into? Do you need it for your job? No, that's a question that will lead to way more than we can get into in this week's video. Just identify what you dislike wearing and get it out of your closet. Get rid of everything that doesn't express the message you are trying to send. I must mention, as I did for an earlier video in this series, when you are getting rid of items that you no longer want, first offer them to friends and family. Or you can sell them using an app like Poshmark or at a store like Plato's Closet. If you choose to donate them, then first look for a small local charity. Let me also mention, if you want to donate to victims of a natural disaster, first donate medical supplies and non-perishable foods, as that's what they need immediately. Only when a charity specifically requests for clothing should you then donate clothing. There's a lot of talk now about getting rid of stuff and decluttering, but there's not a lot of discussion going on of where all the stuff is going to end up. Now we're going to move on to look at aesthetics and creating balance with your clothing. By no means do you have to follow the rules for dressing for your body shape, but there certainly are guidelines to help you get started with creating a balanced silhouette. Let's take a look at some of those guidelines. We're going to discuss body shape, which is not to be confused with body type. Body type means looking at how your body builds and holds onto muscles and how it stores fat. The 3 body types are ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. We will be talking about body shape though, because you could be a round endomorph or a triangle endomorph. Body shape looks at the structure of your body and where your body stores fat, not how much body fat you store. Does that make sense? Okay, let's take a look. The basic body shapes are triangle, inverted triangle, round, rectangular, rhomboid for males, which is similar to the inverted triangle, but the hips are wider and usually the torso is shorter than what you see in the inverted triangle, and the hourglass for females. Let's start with triangle. You want to emphasize your upper body and broaden your shoulders. You can do this by combining patterns with light colors on the top with dark colored bottoms. You can also find t-shirts that are lighter around the shoulders and darker in the abdominal area. T-shirts that have patterns from the chest up are also great options. Another way to emphasize your shoulders is by wearing off-the-shoulder tops. This creates great balance with the hips. Now let's take a look at round. Round body types want to elongate their silhouette with clothing. A great way to do this is to avoid high neck t-shirts and go for more of a scoop neck or lower cut. Jackets are also a great way to create more of a vertical look. The most narrowest part of your waist is going to be higher than what you would think a traditional waist. So think about empire waist type of dresses. Also wearing dresses that are more loose and billowy and shorter. This will be great for showing off legs, which are usually slimmer in round shapes. You can also focus on dresses again that are empire waist and a little bit lower cut. Moving on to inverted triangle. Inverted triangles want to create balance by choosing bottoms that are lighter color and tops that are close fitting, that reduce visual clutter and emphasizes the sharp lines of the torso. For women, I would not recommend off the shoulder cuts for inverted triangles because it already broadens a broader shoulder. Halter tops work great for inverted triangles because it really emphasizes the length and shows off the shoulders without adding bulk. Now rectangle. Layers are great for rectangular body shapes. This will just help break up the longer torso with a shorter shirt on the bottom and that longer jacket on the top, plus the layers will add more bulk to the shoulder areas. Asymmetrical tops work really well with this body type. You can also keep it loose around the waist and show off the legs, which also tend to be slimmer for this body type. V-necks are another good option to help break up the longer torso. that triangle shapes have. Combining light and dark colors is another way to also make the most out of your torso. And finishing up with hourglass and rhomboid. Rhomboid shapes would do really well with vertical lines. You already have good shoulder structure, but chances are for rhomboids, the torso is a little bit shorter, so adding vertical lines is a great way to just visually lengthen your silhouette. For women that have hourglass, you want to avoid dresses that are going to be bulky around the midsection. You already have a good balance from your hips to your shoulders, so you want to make the most out of that. I fall into the inverted triangle category. My shoulders are a bit wider than my hips. I have legs for days, and I have probably the shortest torso you can imagine. And that's the reason why I'm not a fan of dress pants. The only way I like dress pants is if I'm wearing a jacket, because that creates balance by essentially elongating my torso because the jacket lands a little bit lower than my waist. Now, I do love wearing A-line skirts that sit at my waist because the bottom of the skirt hits my thighs, and that creates a better balance for my frame than pants that sit in my waist with fabric that reach all the way down to the floor. I currently only have one pair of dress pants, and that's because it's a vintage pantsuit that my mom had from before I was born. I love the fabric, cut, and the color, so now it's mine. Speaking of colors, I love wearing bright colors, especially neon colors. This goes back to what I mentioned earlier about using your style as a tool to help you create a memorable image. Naked Formula's brand colors are nudes and neons. I've always loved that combination, but it works well with the company's name and its mission to help you strip each of the essential life areas, which is represented each by bright neon colors. I like pairing neutrals like navy with neon pink. I also love how neon yellow and gray pair together. Bright aqua is another color I'm a fan of. With my hair, I usually style it three ways. Letting it do its natural thing with maybe a little bit of the dirty hair cream from Lush and accentuating some of the curls. Straight with some volume at the end, and in a bun of some form. Let's go back to that photo. It's a fancier version, but it's still a bun, which is also my go-to style while training clients. This simplifies my options. I know what's flattering, so I only focus on variations of these. I also have some tried and true silhouettes for my clothing. A-line skirts, dresses and tops with 3/4 length sleeves or halter tops. I know these cuts are flattering to my body shape, plus it makes me happy to wear bright and girly clothing. It takes trial and error to find the right items that work for your taste. As you're going through this journey, I want you to ignore negative messages about what you think you have to look like. Rather, listen to what's on the inside to create a style that is all your own. This video can only scratch the surface of this topic. If you want more help with this, please reach out to me by visiting nakedformula.com. If you like this video and want to keep seeing more weekly wellness videos, please subscribe and click on the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!